Generation Banter with Tony Smith. Riser.
Welcome back to the studio, friends. It's been a while, with a few hiccups, a few technical problems, but we're back, friends, we're back. So come in for the banter. Don't be shy. If you have an event coming up, let me know about it. Come in, talk about it. So, Martin, we're joined in the studio today, Mr. Marty Murtagh, entrepreneur, Newry's own entrepreneur. Martin, thanks for coming into the studio.
Thank you, Tony.
I'm just going to do my shout-outs, Marty. We'll get them out of the road.
No problem, yeah.
It's
great.
warm in here today, isn't it?
It is quite warm in here, yeah.
On that note, yeah, you know the crack, friends. There you go, look at that there. That was a good shot, Marty.
I was, yeah.
Look at that there.
Yeah.
So, Matthew T. Metzler, my main man over in Ohio and Cleveland and New Mexico as well. His mother, Corinne Cohen. Christina Doyle over in Moscow. Miss Anufa in Abu Dhabi. And all our friends in Australia, all over the world. All over Newry, indeed. They're watching this live. Teresa Priest, I'm looking in for the banter. A good selfie with Teresa down the street there one day. So, listen, friends, come in here for the banter. Let's get the show on the road. So, shout-outs done, Marty. How you doing?
Oh, good, yeah. Yourself?
Good to see you, mate. I haven't seen you in a while, you know.
I haven't seen you in ages,
Yeah.
It's always good to catch up with yourself.
You've got the haircut and the beard's
I
trimmed.
got the haircut and the beard trimmed. I had the beard trimmed last week. I was finding it hard even to get through my own beard, you know.
With a heat.
With the heat and whatnot. So usually I'm a sort of like beard sort of person. I like having a beard and whatnot. And I suppose what people say when you have beards gives you a bit of a confidence and whatnot. Whereas when I shave, I look at my big bare head and I go, I am not going out like this. I get that beard back. You know? Having beard dreams, you know.
But they're all the big style nowadays, aren't they?
Well, they are. I mean, I thought about it. I'm kind of like, you know, like I say, there's a lot of hipsters wearing beards around. If you go to the likes of Belfast, not just Belfast, but a lot of hipsters wearing beards for the fashion side to it, you know. Though I kind of like my beard can grow a certain length, but instead of some people can grow it straight, and you have to groom it every day. You know, people have the whiskers and what, and you have to with Dax wax and what to grow it.
With what wax?
Well, people use Dax wax. You know the wax that people put in your hair. You know
I don't.
Well, you know the wee whisker moustache.
So you wax them.
You do that with wax.
Right.
That's how you get it. Actors and whatnot would do it, and people groom you have to groom your beard. Now, the reason I have a long beard is because I wake up in the morning and go, I'm not shaving. I'm just not. I mean, I shave maybe around here and here. You know, I don't suit a full beard. I tend to suit this here, and I've often found that when I grow it like that, it goes wavy, you know, every direction. You know, it's like
it's like the old World War I kind of big moustaches and beards. Like
it's just my beard just goes every direction, and it just doesn't.
Well, a big shout out to my cousin Connor Crowley over in Australia. Now that's a beard, cousin, and it took you 4 months to grow it. This lad's a bad boy.
Brilliant.
Oh, it's a big meaty beardy job.
There's a fella in Newry's got a good beard.
Marty Bogrel.
Hi, Marty Bogrel. But there's another guy. I think he does that mixed martial arts stuff with you, doesn't he? A young fella.
I know who you're on about. James Hart.
He's got a good beard, yeah.
James Hart. A big shout out to his dad, Marty.
James is a good lad, yeah.
He is indeed. His dad, Marty, a good old friend of mine, you know. There's lots of people, you know, the more we talk, the more shout outs I have to do, you know. Yeah. And I've just seen Sean Smith there, another old friend of mine, look at that motorbike, look.
Yeah. That's him,
That's actually a Murtagh. Wow. Yeah, that's him. And I was calling him in, but he wouldn't come into the Banter show, his friend, so his son Aaron, he works around the PPO hire. So big shout out to the Smiths there.
Brilliant, yeah. Are you related to yourself?
No, but they're good people, you know.
Okay.
They could be. I think they could be far out, you know what I mean?
Far out, great grandfathers or something.
They could be cousins or something.
Yeah, whatnot.
But do you hear that bike going? It's like,
see, I love the history, you know, and that's why, you know, even talking about people's families and people saying, are you related? And you get people talking about their history in the area, their roots and whatnot, and that's great. And
well, I would know you, I know the Murtaghs through my young friends, the Murtaghs from Drumlane, and my good friend Dermot, and he passed away, but, you know,
there would be
there's a big connection.
Their cousins, you know,
and then they go away to Jarrett's Pass and all, you know.
That's right, yeah, well, that's where the Murtagh stronghold would be. That's where
and there's still some of them out there.
There is, yeah. I think there'll always be Murtaghs out that part of the world, yeah. Big footballing community. They take football out that part of the world very serious.
No,
Gaelic
not
football.
not soccer. They take the Gaelic
They take
very
the
serious.
Gaelic very seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a few of them maybe play Caribbean League at the weekends as well when the Gaelic's not on. But the Gaelic's the main thing for them out there. In general, I think a spread out of sports is very big in our family.
Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of people are.
And it's
into it
funny
and they
because
pursue it and
my
whatnot.
father hung around with Peter, Murtagh Dermot's father, and not there, you know,
Yep.
and way back. And it goes down through years and centuries, doesn't
Of
it?
course it does, yeah.
It's funny, you
Imagine
know.
their disappointment when I said I want to do music and arts.
But you're an exception to the Murtaghs,
I don't
aren't
want
you?
to do PE. I don't want to do PE. I want to get into music and I want to run events and stuff. You know.
That was the Sasquatch coming out in you, Martin.
I think
You know,
it's hard to know, but I was saying to Mummy yesterday. We were just talking about it, and she was saying about she was talking about young children.
Yeah.
Being musical and that, and arts that helps them develop. And I was saying, yeah, I mean, certainly when I was growing up, I was drawn to music and whatnot, and I'm still very creative. This is all kind of like, I find it hard to kind of sit in the room and just, you know, I mean, I have my hobbies and interests, of course. I like going fishing in my spare time and whatnot, but this is something that I enjoy doing as well. I really enjoy doing these tours and whatnot, and as I say, I've always kind of like, had this kind of like adventurous, free-spirited type thing.
Yeah.
Myself, I ran around with a fella in school, a fella Sean Connolly from Ballyholland actually, and myself and Sean had a shared interest in kind of like going exploring and whatnot when we were kids. And we met recently over a few pints in in the Bridge Bar, and we were just joking and talking about it, how we always had this sort of interest and whatnot, a kind of searching for UFOs and stuff, you know what I mean, over the rocks and whatnot.
Oh,
and,
yeah. You're bound to find a few aliens over there.
A few, there was certainly a few space cadets anyway.
You would get them there.
There was a brave few space cadets.
And aliens, even though they're not illegal aliens, there's aliens up around that part,
it's
you know.
funny, I remember, it's something we talk about on the tour as well, because I used to hang about, you know, the likes of the Rocks and the Wimbledon Road and all. I grew up in that area, and we were 16, 17. The church, if you look at that, St. Patrick's Anglican Church of Ireland, it's actually allegedly the oldest Protestant church in Ireland. And it sits on the hill.
It's the first one after the Reformation.
First one after the Reformation.
Which is quite historical.
It is indeed, yes. Sir Nicholas Bagnall commissioned to have the church built, you know, which is really interesting in itself.
And even today, our own Rowan Hand in here,
Yep.
that's where Rowan's getting buried. He's bought his plot and all up there.
Bought his plot there.
Oh, he
Wow.
has, yeah. There's good, isn't it?
There's thinking ahead, isn't it?
There you go.
know? Well, I'll tell you an interesting story that we used to hang out over the rocks when we were part of the White Spirits and the Buckfast Brigade ourselves.
The White Hoods and all.
The White Hoods, we were the ones with the hoods up, you know. But
And I bet you, because you were the tallest, you were the leader.
single night leader, you know what I mean? I was always the tallest, and I was always the first one to get caught. Grab the big fella, you know what I mean?
Grab the big fella first.
Take the big fella in the headlock, you know?
That's the Irish one, isn't it, all through the years? Get the big fella first.
Get the big fella first, take him down first, you know. It always got me in trouble growing up when I was younger and that. So always the big fella was singled out. But yeah, looking at the church from that right angle, we were convinced one night it was Batman. We were convinced the church looked like Batman, as in
The church did.
Batman, you know, with the ears.
Yeah, oh yes,
When
with
it's
the
in
picture.
dark and the way the light shines behind it. I'll tell you, and when you look at it, you can see how it does look like Batman.
I suppose it would if you caught it in the right angle. It would do, certainly, yeah.
it
With
looks like
with
Batman.
the turrets at the top like ears.
Yeah, absolutely. And also it helps being the case of magic mushroom season as it was back then, you know.
Right, right.
It was more so convincingly Batman. It was Batman.
Well, I've never
You know,
indulged,
we can
thank
even
God.
we can even see Robin beside him, you know. I'm only joking about that.
Kapow, bosh.
That's a wee bit of a wise tale, that one. That's a fairy tale.
That's a fairy tale. No.
You need a few wise tales.
A big feed of onions and mushrooms, you mean?
A few fairy tales. Aye, good fry up, you know.
A good fry up, you know, duck
Good
egg.
oyster fry, you know.
With a duck egg.
With a couple of duck eggs.
So you were down at I missed the Tanglewood this year, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I would love to went down. I was mucking around with film and stuff again, and
I was involved with Tanglewood, came on board.
you had the
there.
rabbit hole stage
I had
this
the
year.
rabbit hole stage, yeah, and it was a new thing. It was an idea that I had from attending parties in Asia and Europe and stuff. In my 20s, when I was a party animal, going to different parties and whatnot, and I took ideas and that. So the rabbit hole was an original concept. I've always sort of been influenced in sort of psychedelia and what, that sort of culture, not linked to the magic mushrooms here,
No,
you know,
no.
I don't want people drawing the connection here. But I've always liked that music, and myself, I would go to different psychedelic parties and festivals in Europe, and I've been to a few in Asia as well.
Now they must be overly colourful, are they?
They're very colourful. They're very kind of like, it seems that it's, again, is the colourful, the props. It's not like 60s psychedelia. It's more sort of from Goa trance, you know, it's from that sort of trance sort of community.
Right.
And whatnot. So I wanted to bring that sort of thing to Newry. Now, there is a few parties in Belfast, but there is a good scene in Dublin at the minute. So I managed to link with a guy who runs a lot of really good parties in Dublin. He came down, we got a good sound system, I programmed the artists and whatnot. The Friday night we had house, electro, techno, and then Saturday during the day was reggae, hip hop, Afro beats, and then in the evening it was all psychedelic trance. I couldn't believe it. It was hard work. I think organising festivals sounds very glamorous. It's
Brain buster, is it?
it's very, it's harder than it looks.
Yeah.
It kind of, I mean, you're there before everything, setting everything up, getting everything in place, multitasking, assigning people different roles and whatnot.
The mobile going red hot, the cell phone.
The mobile, you don't answer your phone, you look around, you have 20 missed calls, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, in a blink.
And then you're at it. You can enjoy yourself certainly, but you're on edge. You know.
On that note, now and that was for you organising the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You can imagine how Nicola and Kira,
Yeah, absolutely.
the organisers, girls, I absolutely give them a round of applause.
Yeah,
there, Martin, I think,
absolutely, yeah.
Because you're saying that you organised the rabbit hole, they
And
organised
Shimmy and
the Tanglewood.
Sinead as well. It's a team effort.
It is, yeah.
It's a team effort, and it's like it really. And you would need a team to make something like that work. And again, local businesses getting on board and supporting these kinds of events is really, really like what it's all about. And also
Yeah.
the likes of the council and that. And kind of like, I know myself when I was doing the rabbit hole, it was the likes of Nicola and Shamie and Sinead and that who sort of believed in me, you know, believed they'd known about my experience of running events. Like I've been running events for a while, over 15, 16 years. I know in a sense that I know how to run an event, but I've always kind of like wanted to do something at a festival, and they give me that opportunity to come on board and get involved. And
Well done,
it worked
yeah.
out really well.
And of course, you grab the opportunity as normally. You know, you grab it. And
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the feedback about the rabbit hole since that has been really, really good. A lot of
Good.
people have been coming up and saying, you know what, that was one hell of a party and whatnot. And
Yeah.
that's great, you know, because when people, that encourages you actually to carry on in a sense. I'm planning two events. Next event will be the Culture Night, 20th of September.
Oh,
I always do something in around that time anyway, so I'm planning an event there, and I'm also planning an event. I ran it under an umbrella that I'm sort of set up with different people, Neighbourhood Newry. The likelihood is I'm going to run it myself this year. It's Day of the Dead, Dia de los
oh
Muertos,
yes.
Mexican Day of the Dead, and it's about bringing, it's an alternative to Halloween, isn't it, really? Kind of like we had burlesque, we had comedian Paul Curry. This guy's he's a rock and roll comedian in every sense. We had Gavin Murphy. We also had the local band from Murtagh, the Nighthawks, blues rock, but they done a special Mexican mariachi.
Oh, brilliant.
It was class.
Brilliant. And that was around the Maya, was it? The Maya
That was
Cafe?
an amplified.
An amplified,
An
yeah.
amplified bar, and we had it in the 2 floors, and you know the burlesque bells as well. It was a great event. It was very kind of like everyone that went. You know, people ask me, why do you do these events? It's just bringing the smiles to people's faces and people actually coming up to you and saying, you know what, that event, was unbelievable. Newry needs more of this, and that's what encourages me,
Yeah.
because kind of like I think I said before that I kind of can't really live in a place that's stale. You know what I mean? I like to keep things going and keep
Yeah.
things moving and bring in culture and events and whatnot. And this is why I do all this.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Oh, by the way, thanks for the invitation to the rabbit hole, but as I told you,
Yeah,
I wasn't
no
able to,
problem.
I just
Yeah,
wasn't able to.
No
But,
problem. Well,
um,
Tony, you're more than welcome at any of these parties.
Thanks very
any of
much.
these
Well,
events,
vice versa, the
Yeah.
Banter yourself,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
we at the Blues Festival this.
I was down
Newry's
for.
first.
I was definitely down. I wasn't at Newry's first Blues Festival at the weekend because, again, I was a lot of this tour stuff. I'm setting this up.
Well, I tell you what, I have to give Ian Sands a big shout.
Ian's a great lad.
Ian,
yeah.
it was good crack meeting you yesterday. We done a selfie outside there, and we got the Destination Newry sign and all, and you're a star, and it was great to meet you, and great to attend Newry's first Blues Festival. Well done, Ian.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get bigger from here. So,
Absolutely,
and
yeah,
thanks for all your music. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, the area is buzzing with music.
Yeah.
All down to Mr. Blues himself, Ian Sands. Razor Mr. Blues.
Yeah,
So
Ian's a good lad.
Oh,
and,
fantastic.
The brother-in-law of mine, he was playing at the Blues Festival at the weekend. He plays in Cole Porter.
Oh, who's that?
Connor Fern.
Oh, Connor.
Connor's a good lad, and
Cole Porter, brilliant band
he's
too.
brilliant, yeah, and they're a great band, and I've since Connor's played in them actually, and I know Mickey as well, Mickey Murphy and whatnot. And since Connor started playing with Ailish and that, I've been going to them more, and I've been really getting into them and enjoying them actually. I know they were playing in Carlingford there yesterday, but I wasn't invited. Somebody was driving and there was no room for me in the car, so
So you weren't really invited. You were invited, but get your own way.
I was invited, but when are you going to learn to drive, kind of way,
Oh, designated driver. If you get the license, Marty, but you'll have to get a bus.
If I get the license, I'll be organising stuff probably all
Bus
over the
tours.
country,
Marty's bus tours.
Who knows?
Mystery tours.
I mean, I'm looking at different things at the minute. Focus really on the city tours and whatnot. And
So you've started then, this is a new thing you've actually started.
yeah. Well, the tours have been sort of like organising tours since October
Right.
last year. So it's kind of like the new thing for me is it was more of a part-time thing, more of a hobby, kind of out of interest type thing. And I felt there was a need just from, I had visited all the cities. I was over in Edinburgh seeing how they do stuff. Now I know Edinburgh's a very big city, don't get me wrong, Edinburgh's a huge city. But I also visited a city like Kilkenny, and Kilkenny's buzzing. And
It is buzzing city.
it's
Yeah.
buzzing. Now the population of Kilkenny is not as similar to Newry in terms of population.
Yeah, but in terms of population, the ladies outnumber the men in Kilkenny.
Well,
There you go.
you've been partying down there, have you?
Tour managing many a time.
Okay, brilliant.
Yep.
Well, I think in Newry the ladies, male radio females are slightly.
Well, the weren't. Kilkenny was just. It was.
Kilkenny's buzzing.
It was nearly 4-1.
Well, Kilkenny has a history of running hens and stag sort of parties.
It's a buzzing place.
It's
It
a
really
buzzing
is.
place. I think why can't Newry be like that?
Well, Newry is like that. Only we need to get the buzz going. That's it. But we'll get this up just to see what you're at. So there you go. Newry City Tours. When and where and who to contact. So that's a good
great.
plug. I'll
Thank
tell you
you,
what we're
Tony,
going to do. We're going to do a bit of magic here. He also does psychic tours. Believe it or not. This is going to go crackers, is it? We don't know.
That's
We don't
grand.
know.
That's grand. Thanks very much.
No
Tony.
bother, Marty.
Well, that's
So
the
tell
vibe.
us about the tour here. Tell us what's going down.
Well, what's going down is we're running daily history walks in Newry. The daily walks, Monday to Sunday, 3 times a day. So if you're in Newry and you'd like to go on a history walk, we'll take you on a history walk. And it more or less, there is the Newry Heritage Trail. It more or less is a tour of Newry, but it loosely follows that. I think there's things about Newry that I noticed growing up, and local legends and quirky things, and like a lot of people maybe don't realise this, but Newry's a coliseum. And
There you go.
Newry's a coliseum, and if you want to find out what the Newry Coliseum is or where it is, come on the tour. You'll find
There
all
you
about
go,
it.
there
I
you
suspect
go.
you would know it well. It's actually very close to where you live.
I know where it is.
So,
But I'm not going to say it. I could
But
tell
not say,
everybody
yeah.
right here, right now.
where it is, yeah.
Do you want me to do that?
No.
No,
No.
he doesn't want me. No, I'll not do it,
No,
Marty.
but I
'cause
think it's nice to do local things like that for
Yeah.
you, that I suppose local kind of people know and whatnot. And there's different wee things that we talk about and that on the tour and whatnot. We keep it interesting. Again, if you start, what I discovered in Kilkenny on their tour was, if you start firing out dates to people in history, they lose interest very, very quickly.
Numbers, yeah.
It goes way over their head. So what you tend to do is you focus on the stories surrounding the buildings, and it's there's fascinating stories in Uri at the minute.
Oh, there is,
There's
yes.
so much history. Again, we're talking about family trees, and there's so much history with the Cistercian monks up there at Bagnall's Castle, even Sir Nicholas Bagnall, the Corey family, the history in the city itself, and how it became a city.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It really is, and it's what we talk about on the history tour and that.
Yeah.
And it's a journey, and it's a journey that, you know, I've seen cities where they have an hour-long tour. This tour is well over 2 hours. It's called Walk Newry. The name itself was Cormac Campbell, who writes for the Newry Reporter. Now, Cormac ran the tour originally, which would have been 2012, 2013. He organised Walk Newry. I met Cormac for a coffee, and we had a chat about maybe working together on this. Now, Cormac, he also writes for the Irish News. He can't really commit to the tour, but the idea was that we would promote Walk Newry under the Newry City Tours umbrella.
Yeah.
And when he can, he certainly will, come along and be a guide on the tour. And he'll also give you a different perspective than maybe that I would give you.
Yes, of course.
It's all about a kind of, isn't it a great thing that you can also, when you get a guide that are characters, we're all characters.
Indeed, yeah.
And personalities and whatnot. And there's certainly on both this tour and the Psychic Ghost Walk, there is a serious amount of banter and there's a serious bit of crack. Because you need that. You need to break the ice a lot of the times. And if you go in there all serious, what I even with the Psychic Ghost Walk, what I'm very clear on is that it's a tour. It's a bit of storytelling, a bit of history, mixed storytelling, history. And yes, we do take you into places that are allegedly very haunted, but we're not. There's a lot of in sort of like this past year. There's a lot of paranormal ghost investigations, that happen, and that's all well and good. Paranormal Searchers Ireland have been on our tour and they have enjoyed it, and we would certainly, if anyone was interested in going and investigating the paranormal or taking it in a more serious, in-depth way, we would certainly signpost them on to the likes of those organisations. But we're not kind of like we're not trying to copycat that.
Yeah.
Again, we're a tour company. It's a bit of crack, it's a bit of banter, and it's a bit of a scare in it as well. Of course there is. But
Well, I mean, do you ever get scared yourself? Does anything ever happen in these tours? You go, I wasn't expecting that.
Absolutely.
Well, there you go, friends. You've heard it live in the Banter show.
Yep. Well, each and every night, like the last, we take you into the old tunnel network that runs under Trevor Hill, Newry's got a network of tunnels. A lot of them are built by the Cistercians, built a lot of tunnels, even around Abbey Yard, the Master's
That's
House.
right, yeah.
But there is also tunnels over Trevor Hill direction, and a lot of them would have been used for escorting prisoners and to the gallows. The United Irishmen, 1798, there's history in itself, Cochrane and Loan, were hung, drawn and quartered up there,
And then their heads were put on top of
their
big
heads were put in
spikes.
spikes,
And then-
at Market Square.
And then they give their heads with the spikes attached to their fathers.
Their father, yeah.
And made them walk up the street with their
Up
sons'
to-
heads
up
on
to
a big
the-
spike.
Up to the church.
I mean, unbelievable, isn't it?
And he had to shout at the top of his voice. He didn't say, "This is my son."
No.
He shouted, "Traitor, traitor!
This is my
That's the
son,
head
is
of the traitor."
His
The
own
whole way
son,
up,
like.
his own son, yeah. I mean, again, that history is all there. And like I tell you this, the tunnels we take you under, each and every time, give me the creeps.
Each and every time.
gives me the creeps.
I find that amazing.
Every time I go down there, I had a group of psychics from Coal Island. There was 30 of them down. And their assessment, this place is full of ghosts, full of spirits, and whatnot. They say now that
it's incredible.
They say that spirits and ghosts get trapped in a building. If you want to avoid spirits and ghosts and whatnot, you should avoid cellars, basements, tunnels, attics and whatnot. And they say that is because spirits get trapped in a place because they can't cross running water. A spirit can't cross a stream, or a ghost can't cross a stream. I say a great cleanser is to walk across a river. Now the reason they're in these places is because there's lots of old pipes with running water, and they get trapped there, and they can't get out of it.
They can't get out of it. Trapped spirit.
They can't get out of it. Some people say that a way that they can get out of it is they can hitch a ride on another person. Some people call it attachments and whatnot. There is. It's very deep, that subject.
It is, but especially the Paranormal Searchers of Ireland investigators, the PSAA.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's more their angle.
They know a lot of stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's great,
Yeah.
Martin. You know, so how long does the tour last again?
So the history walk.
Or where do you meet up?
Well, the
Where is
history
the meeting
walk.
point?
We would meet the group at Bagnall's Castle. I had a group there out from New Zealand there last week.
Yeah.
Met them at Bagnall's Castle. And we finish up then we would probably finish up at the bottom of High Street. But again, it's walking here. You get the real essential bits.
But you don't need hiking boots or do you?
You don't need walking boots. Well, a good pair of walking shoes. Don't turn up in your high heels or your
Don't turn up in your heels.
or your runners.
Or your runners.
Oh well, trainers, good walking trainers are good. Now I there last week I had a pair of Converse on. The feet were killing me after half an hour.
Oh, well, there you are. So get proper footwear, walking footwear.
Walking trainers or whatnot. The paranormal tour, we meet you in the Bank Bar. Again, this tour is, we ask if people want to take their kids, then they need to be accompanied by a responsible adult type thing, a parent or a guardian, not a mate. You know, we've had that before. Oh, they're 16, no problem. They need a responsible adult. Yeah, their best friend's 19. Oh, sorry, it doesn't work like that. It's just this tour, the paranormal tour, is designed for an adult audience in mind. Again, we're connecting stuff, we're feeling stuff, you're hearing stuff. You're in a place in the dark. People can talk whatever, but they can become scared very, very quickly. So again, it's designed for an adult audience in mind. The paranormal tour, well, the walk tour, it's for all ages. Well, all ages in the sense that if you're gonna come along and you can take the history in and enjoy it and whatnot. But I keep it interesting because I've been on tours, Tony, myself. I've done a bit of traveling, and I always kind of like, I remember I went to the Edinburgh tour. The first time I went to Edinburgh, I was at the rugby the night before. Ireland were playing Scotland, and Ireland won, and the crack was good, and the beer was great the night before. I'm
sure it was. It always is.
But the next day, I had scheduled myself into this tour, and I wanted to go on this tour of the museum, the art museum, and whatnot. And of course, I fell behind because my head was in other places, and there was a seat, like this seat, in the middle of the room. This old sort of seat, and I didn't realise, you know, those ropes type security sort of ropes with the hooks.
Oh yes, you hooked them in, just the red ones.
Round at the red ones.
Yeah.
Well, they were obviously down. I didn't realise. I thought this was a seat to be sat on. I sat down this seat, and I was like, started to realise I'm comfortable here. I feel a wee bit tired. Out for the count, without even out for the count. Next
Get away.
thing, yep. But it triggered some alarm. This seat was like, I don't know, a seat that Robert the Bruce or somebody was his.
Tied into or something. God knows.
It was his seat. Security guy. The security guys in Donegal. He was great crack. But he said I'd phoned the emergency call and but he cancelled it and all. And sure, I ended up going to beer with him that night.
Basically, you sat in the seat and the seat sucked the energy out of you.
No, the seat belonged to somebody that the seat set an alarm off. The seat was part of the. It was being, it's part of that.
It's an exhibit.
It was
The
an
seat was
exhibit.
an
The
actual
seat was an exhibit. But I thought it was a seat just to
sitting
be
on.
for sitting
Just so
on.
we can sit in that seat, get your photograph taken.
Yeah, kind of one
So
of
you
those
sat in the
things.
seat and
Yeah,
actually-
out for the count.
Boom.
But what I'll say is, you know, I went to Krakow as well, and I went on a tour, and we had the wee headphones on, the wee mic, and the girl was talking like this. Now, just to tell you all, I enjoy a beer once in a blue moon, not all the time, but when I go to these places, I usually get out the night before. In Krakow, same thing, and out the night before. I went to a couple of great blues, jazz bars and whatnot, great scene out there, and the beer was about 8% a pint. Only had 3 or 4 pints, but
That would do, like.
that would usually send you on your way. Now, I was in Krakow and was on this tour, and the lady was talking. Here we have a painting. This painting on the wall was built in 1632. Now, I'm on this same thing, like, you know, when you're actually falling asleep standing up, you're like. So I was like, I had to make an excuse to the leader. Actually, I said, listen, I'm kind of not feeling well. I'm just going to go and get a glass of water here, a cup of coffee or something. As soon as I left them, took a cup of coffee, totally energized, felt great, went and explored the city as I seen it, you know, which was great. Although I did end up in an area which was kind of like the Bronx of Krakow, which kind of like where I realised people like, this is a bit dodgy. I couldn't find it. Was like, I was told not to wander out of the city centre. Guess where I ended up? In the middle of the suburbs where there was boys blowing down all tattoos and all. I was like, oh, this is a wee bit out of my depth here, you know. But yeah, and it kind of like, but what we do, going back to the original point, on this tour, there's plenty of crack, plenty of banter. If we think people are disengaged, we engage them. We're not there simply just to deliver a tour and just, you know, people can. We want to engage everyone really, kind of get them involved, you know, get them to, you know, bit of crack and whatnot and the banter and get them. It's a kind of, again, my sort of like professional background or whatever. I trained as a youth and community worker. Communication is a kind of something that I was a big part of my sort of training and whatnot. So I kind of like would do stuff like group work and that. So I try to engage everyone in that process, and I think that's what makes our tours different. Everyone's engaged and everyone's a part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now you get the odd people, I don't believe in ghosts. That's all right, no problem. You know what I
Just
mean?
come on,
That's
hey,
all
you
right.
might find out something different.
That's all right. Here, will you go into that room a second? You know what I mean?
No.
Now, hold on a second. You're not sending me into this room. I had one friend there, and he was completely. I took him down into the tunnels, and he didn't believe in he's like, nah, you know me, Marty, atheists don't believe in any of that stuff. No, I was like, no problem. So I says, here, I have to go up to the shop here to get a bottle of water. Now I have to go up to the shop here to get a bottle of water. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's still dark here in the tunnels.
Yeah.
So I went up the shop to get a bottle of water, and I came back down. He was in the corner like that.
He was in the corner like that.
He says, what the hell's wrong with you? He says, man, there's rats down here, there's badgers down here, there's foxes. I says, mate, this is the tunnel. There's no badgers.
Yeah.
He says, mate, this place is, there was stuff moving about in here. It sounded like chairs and all moving
The minute
about.
you left, all this stuff started to happen.
When he was on his own in the dark, I'll tell you. I says, no problem. I says, I forgot something up at the shop. Here, I can come with you. You know what I mean? He wasn't bragging about again.
Wow, that's unreal.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm
Tell
not...
me this before you say any more. I believe you got a good write-up in the paper this week.
Yeah, thanks to the New Democrat. Well, our friend, you know Marty McGuigan. You know Marty McGuigan from Ballyhole. Well, Marty's a great lad, and Marty's writing for the Vibe at the minute.
Oh.
So I got into Marty and had the crack, and we were talking more about rock and roll and the Doors and Pink Floyd. But then I remembered I was into I was into get
That's
an
one
article.
thing about us Irish guys. We can get caught up in music very quick.
We can get caught up in the tunes
The
very
music,
quickly.
music's part of our culture, isn't it?
It is certainly. I kind of like, I know myself. That's an essential for me. I need the tunes. I need the music.
But I love bands coming in here.
Yeah.
I love bands coming in and playing, or even showing me their latest YouTube video or whatever. So more bands, please get in here to the Banter show. Get yourselves out there in the World Wide Web, you know.
Well, I know in Uri at the minute, like, there's great things happening in Amplified. There's really good things happening in Amplified, and another great thing. It's tomorrow night. Graham up there at Grounded, he's pushing an open mic session up there at Grounded Slieve Gullion.
Oh, it's Slieve Gullion.
And they're running a bus, and as far as I know, there's still a few spaces left on that bus.
There you go, friends.
So again, that's another thing, another incentive for people that are midweek during the summer looking stuff to do, and get up to Slieve Gullion and enjoy a beer or a cider up there and watch a few, or even a
gigs,
coffee or what, watch a bit of music and whatnot.
And as I say again about Ian Sands, the first blues festival, Newry's first blues festival. So the second's going to be here next week, and it's going to build up.
Newry's it's great for the kind of like, and hopefully we can sort of develop it and push it and keep it going. There's a new venue open. I remember the original one there at the bottom of Rosie O'Grady's, where the Bellini's is.
Oh, yeah.
It's reopened. I haven't been in it, but I know Thursday night a good friend of mine, Justy Grant's playing in there on Thursday night.
So. I was talking to Justy yesterday, and funny enough, Justy's going to come back on the Banter show with a bit of chin wag yesterday, you know.
Justy's a great lad. So again,
terrific.
There's no shortage of live music and gigs and whatnot happening in the area again.
Sure, I met that many people at the Blues Festival, you know. Rosemary McCavitt, tattoo artist.
I know Rosemary well.
You know, because I met Rosemary. I meet Rosemary near enough every year at the Blues and the Point, you know. And there's a certain group of people I meet. And
absolutely, and
great to see them coming to Newry, you know. So unfortunately, friends, we're getting that there.
Well, thanks very much for having me on, and the crack, as you know, and the banter yourself's always great.
Always great, Marty.
Always great, and you know yourself, you're more than welcome at any of these parties and any of these events that I'm doing.
Thanks very much, I appreciate that. Sure, I'll have to get a run out soon, you know. And
well, you know what it is. I
had
had two friends who came down to the Tanglewood from Belfast, and good friend John and Jerry Gallagher, and they love the music and the tunes as well. And we were talking, and I was saying, you know, you surround yourself with good people. You know, and you look after good people because they look after you.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. I went down to a gig there with those guys. Clutch were playing. You know Clutch?
Clutch, yeah.
Hard rock, blues rock.
Heavy
band. Great band. And went down to see them in Belfast. It was a class gig. It was one of the best gigs that I've been to in a long time.
Cleared the ears out, Marty, did it?
Really cleared the ears out. And it was down for them. And the likes of Jerry and John. No problem. Where you staying tonight? You know, I didn't end up staying with him, but
the offer was there.
The offer was there, you know.
And that's good enough, isn't it?
What you need, you know.
And it's good to return that offer back.
Of course it is. You can return that offer, return that favour and whatnot. So, thanks very much, and I'll hopefully see you on the tour some night.
Definitely, I'll have to get a bit of spare time. I'd actually. You know, so what? Give us the time again, Marty, before we leave here.
Well, the times,
time and date.
So for the walk tours are Monday to Sunday. Monday to Saturday, it's 10:30, 1:15.
10:30 in the morning to 1:15 in the afternoon.
10:30. The next tour is 1:15. The last tour is at 4 p.m.
At 4 p.m.
On a Sunday, the first tour is at 11:30. Everyone likes a lay-in, and 2:15 in the afternoon.
And you meet up at Bagnall's Castle.
Bagnall's
the
Castle.
Museum.
Bagnall's Castle is where we meet up, and that's Monday to Sunday. It's £5 per person. If you're a senior citizen, I'm not saying you are, or a student, it's £4.
If you're a senior citizen or a student, it's £4.
It's £4
I'm neither,
per person.
Thank God.
And as I said, just to tell you there, Newry's only get a walking tour.
Okay.
A 2-hour journey telling the fascinating story of the city's role in Irish, British and American politics, as well as discussing the myths, legends and quirks that makes Newry the most fascinating small city in Newry. Or in Ireland.
In Ireland.
And that meets at Bagnall's Castle. And we have the Ghost Walk, Psychic Ghost Walk, which is Friday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. Experience the mystery and intrigue as we take you on a guided tour through the fog-shrouded streets of Old Newry and explore local legends, hauntings, ghostly sightings and strange happenings. That meets at the Bank Bar. Also, I would like to say, I'd like to thank the likes of Grounded Newry. I'd like to thank the Chamber, Hello Newry, the Cathedral Creamy Quarter, Newry Mourne District Council, also Mourne Ringagullion, all these partners, and the Bank Bar and Bistro. These are partners that we have to make this, as well as all local businesses who share our flyers, because that's a big thing as well. Hotels and that. I was in Rostrevor and Warrenpoint yesterday, and throughout the country, kind of it's a very big thing for them to actually say no problem, because we want things to work. And I certainly, if B&Bs and hotels and that are willing to help here, we're willing then certainly to share their sort of stuff amongst our own networks and that kind of thing, as well as kind of signpost people who are looking somewhere to stay in their direction.
Well, very good, and I wish you well. You're always battering away at something, I have to say.
Well.
Entrepreneur, I have to say. And I just wish you well, Marty, and hopefully I will get on some of these walks, and even the psychic one, I'd be up for that some of these evenings,
Thanks very much, Tony.
As I say, Marty, always good to come in for the catch-up.
Yeah, no problem.
It's that time of the day, Marty. Our viewers deserve an old razor. You're going to give them a razor?
Problem. Yep.
Two on the right, one on the left, Marty.
We've got a
razor.
Razor.
Friends, we're out of here.
Destination Banter with Tony Smith.